I do. Mining Guild prospecting report. Field survey number 136. Jan Stelos, reporter. Just like we guessed from all the red, oxidized sand, there's plenty of iron ore to be had out here. Wouldn't need a magnetic extraction either. There's plenty of exposed magnetite veins in easy reach. The problem's going to be collecting it. The whole region's crawling with bandits. There's been Karab aplenty around the Big Hammer since the Fremen got cleared out, but not in numbers like this. Something must be driving the buggers in from elsewhere. I've had a real hard time avoiding them so far. Still, I estimate the iron output will be well worth the cost of extra security.
Reveal yourself! Got you! Shields up!
To that son of a leprous Garvark, Samil, I have heard it said that you would not attend this year's Suk Elusus for fear of my wrath. You may rest assured that I will abide by the market peace, like a true Kirab. Should our paths cross there, I will not see you. But no, I have not forgotten what you did to my brother. Let us meet anywhere but in the shadow of Mirzaba, and you will become well acquainted with my knife, Esmir.
The ground fighting may have moved away from here, but there's still plenty going on up above. I don't mind them dropping those fighters out of the sky, long as they don't come down on my head. There's still good salvage to be got from them. Only thing is, most of them fall out in the open sands, and the worms won't give you any time to use a cutter ray out there. Still, you can get some nice stuff if you're daring enough for a dash and grab.
Stay clear of the hand of Kadir. The entire rock is swarming with slavers. Kirab, salvagers, prospectors, anyone without a powerful patron is fair game. Beast Rabban needs more bodies to work to death on his precious new city. So if you go anywhere near the hand, be on your guard.
Shields up. Weapon empty. Let's get the bastard. Found you. Who goes there? Enemy sighted!
Need reinforcements. Enemy sighted.
Someone's here. I see someone.
Someone's... There's maybe reinforcements!
Easy there. Let's just make sure everyone is friends before we close the distance so hastily. I do hope we can be friends. My name is Desmond Mercer, but my friends call me Des. You can call me Des, as I just know we are destined to be firm friends. We stand upon a cruel planet, careening through a crueler universe. Friendly optimism isn't a soft trait, but an act of aggressive defiance. Oh, I do this and that for the Landsrad envoys of House Harata. My inquisitive little peepers are just dandy for sussing out what they need to know. You should ask yourself what it is you want to accomplish on Arrakis, and how a friendship with my house might help that along. In the spirit of friendship, I will let you in on a secret. We heard rumors of an ancient desert botanical testing station here. Curiosity is my vice. I knew you'd come around. I surely did. Here's to mutual benefit. House Harata is known primarily as a visionary pioneer in media technologies, particularly projections and film books. I had a feeling you'd be someone in the know. It's refreshing to meet a soul who properly appreciates the work we do. The cold universe has a knack of forgetting a thing so thoroughly. It's like it never even existed. A skill can vanish in a single generation. A species can fade away into non-entity. The preservation of human knowledge and expertise is the holiest of holies. Our film books revolutionize education and training. A Shigawire imprint carrying a mnemonic pulse, transmitting knowledge directly to the mind. Fascinating stuff. The metallic extrusion of a ground vine, Narvi narvium. Made into reels, it can transmit amazing amounts of data. With its extreme tensile strength, the Sardaukar reduce Shigawire to a simple, if effective, garrote. Well, it is one of the most amazing substances known to humankind, and all they can think to do with it is squeeze necks.
Someone's here.
Identify
Target
yourself.
found.
I just realized that OBS hadn't been picking up my mic the entire 1 hour and change I've been going, so I've just been talking to myself. I don't know when that got disabled. Maybe it's a good thing OBS said I didn't have enough memory to keep recording the stream. Oh, that was bad. Anyways, Vagabond, I asked how you were doing. No wonder you didn't answer. Let the stamina recover. Yeah. I think at this point we've all been there. There we go. Anyway, so since apparently the stream never heard what my plan for today was, the plan was to go exploring a little bit, you know, go through the region I did so I can sit there and find some camps I haven't found yet. And, you know, just explore and whatnot. And we actually have another place we are going to explore. That was a lot of blood. Fill. Now we get to wait. Since I'm here, I need to make this and this. Oop, I just used up all the iron ingots. Oops. Yeah, I mean, it's the, I think you, I don't remember if you were there when I played during the beta weekend, but, you know, nice little fun survival MMO. Oh, hey, there's one of the guildmates. Hi. Who is it? Miata. So that's one of the guildmates. They are actually the furthest along and have, they're the ones building the ornithopters. Or at least trying to. They ornithopters take a lot of resources to build, and I don't quite have them all yet. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I gotta get rid of plating. I don't quite remember which chest is what, but I can just direct deposit and I don't have to worry about it. Wait, actually one of these I want to keep my money for. Oh, did I? I did. I got rid of my ammo and my bandages. That's going to work out great. Cannot add more items to this inventory. What? Okay. Don't know how that worked out, but okay. Alright, so let's see. Next, I actually want to go... So I have a journey to find a place. Devil's Eye Cavern. Where the heck that is. Oh, so I gotta go over there anyways. I need to go here for a later step in the quest. Wonder if Devil's Eye Cavern is here. Yeah, I still got like 21 different camps to find in this area. But I got all the intel points, so that's important. I, however, do not have the intel points for this region. I don't think I have any. Nope. Have I even found all the camps? Yes, it does. It looks like I found all the camps. Crossroads trip. How have I found you already? I haven't even been to you yet. Maybe I did and I just didn't survey it. There's the Atreides base, which is kind of a pain for me to get to without a ornithopter. Actually been to these places, but I need to go back. Ooh, I think this is supposed to be a good place to get that aetheryte. But let's go ahead and do that shipwreck. It's supposed to be a PvP area. Hopefully we won't run into PvPers. Oh, there's somebody flying away. But yeah, you missed it. Besides the microphone, I also had OBS tell me that, you know, 70 gigs of space isn't enough to keep recording. Thankfully, it's still streaming. And we also had a huge crash at the beginning of the game because of... Actually, I'm not even sure what happened other than it just did. It has a similar crash during the beta weekend, but I haven't had a crash here. I always heard it hurts when you PvP. I think there's a joke there that I'm not getting, but yes, it usually hurts. I seriously think I need a better CPU so I can play this game and stream. And then the way it's maxing out my VRAM, well, it's doing okay on the VRAM. I don't know why I did that. Say I don't know why I did that because I'm going to have to back on it anyways. Whee! Okay, so there is drum sand in this area. Yeah, they've been having a lot of bugs just pop up as more and more people log on. And, you know, with today being launched, that means they'll probably have the most for a while. Ew, just heard me graze that drum sand. Alright, and this is actually my tiny little base, emphasis on tiny. And we're going to go ahead and fill back up on water. Whoops. Let's see. This is Kirab level. Honestly, it might just be good. So there's actually a place I want to go to first to try and Because there was a spot on the other side of this that's sort of on the way where it was real easy to get flower sand. And I just want to see if it's still there or not. But yeah, I think last time it happened because I had OBS encoding using the GPU, and then between it and the game, the two butted heads and didn't like each other that much. So I'm not sure what caused it this time, but when we restarted the game, everything went to normal. I have had to lower the graphics since then because the ping started getting high. But yeah, I mean, personally, if you want to go by my recommendation, if you even remotely think you'll like the game, go ahead and get it and try it out. I'm having fun. I really like it. It's helped me a lot to get through the past week. Ooh, someone else's base. There's someone else's base. This one's kind of impressive because it's just built up there. I think it levels out here. Yeah, sort of. Looks like they made it so you can climb up in there. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, because, I mean, you were there when I had to rebuild this PC, what, earlier last year, I think, was the last time it died. And it just kind of, like, took everything with it. Ooh, the flower sand spot's still there. Okay. And there's a worm. Alright, so we want a safe space to cross. Yeah, we've done that testing station. So go ahead and get these two areas. And go here. Then there. And then there. And that's the shipwreck we want to explore. There's supposed to be a... what was it again? Devil's Eye Cavern? Yeah. Devil's Eye Cavern. Yeah, find Devil's Eye Cavern, search the wreck of the palace, search Imperial Testing Station number 76. Have I even found 76? Because this is 197. Oh, wow. Where are you? 29. Oh, I'm going the whole wrong way. Nah. Yeah, I think the compressor's going out. If I keep it at the lowest setting, it sort of works, but it keeps banging and knocking. So I just need to, I don't know, I feel like it's just better if I already consider it dead and gone. But I do have a working ice maker at least. But yeah, it's like, I'm not even sure I want to try using used ones, because my history with used ones, used anything is, it doesn't last much longer after I get it. But yeah, a new cheap one is looking like around $400. And I think that's before taxes. I still don't even know what to do about my car, because it looks like all the junkers want for it, between it being you know, damaged in a car wreck that happened to it before I got it, and it not running now. It seems like only $300 is the most I can get for it. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, so last, yeah, probably closer to 450. Just a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so I won't get the quests done that I wanted to, but I can still do some exploring and get a couple of others done. Really? Oh, there you are.
Enemy sighted. Need to reload. I got covered.
Okay. I did not use my shield. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's ticking me off, because when I had to junk my Firebird, I had a similar problem where, you know, I did not mean to drink water. Where basically the engine just blew up. I started it one day, it started smoking, I tried turning it off, it wouldn't turn off, and I ended up like even getting to the point where I disconnected the battery, and it still kept going until it finally just, you know, seized up and died. And like that was annoying because, well, annoying for a lot of reasons, but even then, that one I still got like $1,000 for it. So I'm not sure. So I assume it's because it's not. I assume because it's like aesthetically damaged and whatnot. I'm not sure. Oh no! Oh ah, crap! Seriously? I'm trying to not worry about it. Last week was just rough for a lot of reasons. Yeah, you all go down there. Okay, so I've never encountered those guys before, and now I've encountered them twice in one night. Okay. Holy cow! I was not expecting to clear it like that. Whee! Hi.
Someone who's there? Shield on. Where's my reinforcement?
Yeah. Oh. Honestly, I'm more worried about the heavy than I am them.
I got you covered.
Like I said, I'm more worried about the guy with the minigun. too late. Now to extract their blood. And I want the ammo. You might ask why I'm not harvesting a lot of stuff. It's because I'm trying to save backpack space and just explore. But I am getting stuff that is valuable and needed at the base. Like fuel cells. I mean, we actually don't need the money, but we also kind of do. Okay, so intel point's got to be in here somewhere. Yeah. Water. I don't know why I did that. I should have just drank it. Iron ingots. Make up for the ones I used. So, intel point, where art thou? I didn't pick it up yet, did I? No. No, I have not picked it up, so... Question becomes, where are you? If you see a big glowing green hologram, shout it out in chat. Oh, you're up here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Erie's haunt is... I see you. Oh, not what I wanted to do. And gonna crawl into here. Oh no. Okay. That did not work out the way I planned it. Okay. Okay, I think I got this now. Oh, come on. Hurry up. Now, come on, seriously? You know what? That might be a better option. And we're flying. Ha-ha. Am I really just going all the way out there for a little camp? Am I really not even going the right direction? Oh, I am. And I'm back to screwing it up again. Come on, stop knocking me down, just get up there. Okay. heck is this? Is there something else on top of this? No. So why the heck did I... Okay, well, there's the camp I was looking for. And there's... I could probably shoot myself across there. Ooh, there's something over there. Okay, okay. Hold on. Spot, yes. Oh, ooh. Aw. I mean, I need some of this stuff, but kind of hoping for more, you know? Nice little camp someone's got out there. Okay, let's see what's at the top. Whole lot of nothing. Okay, and the cave is somewhere below and behind me. Really? That's all there is up here? Oh, there's a camp down there I can see. It looks like there should be a cave. There's pieces of ship all over this. It doesn't look like maybe that ship either. Come on. Nope.
I see someone.
That was graceful.
Where is everybody? Let's get the bastard.
Where's that clumping sound? Oh, there's the cave I was looking for. Like, you'd think you'd be smart enough to not get that close to someone with a shotgun. Nowhere to climb. Ooh, dew field. I don't mind if I do. Oh, how the car found someone. And it wasn't me, so I'm okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and help out. there's the other player I'm trying to help out. Try to shoot me. Okay, so there's a camp over there. Sorry, I probably enjoy that too much. Oh, have I already been to this camp? Oh, okay, I had. Alright, so we want to go this way. And then we'll go across this way. We'll hit this one. If I'm not mistaken, this is a radiation zone, which I do not have the stuff for, so I'm going to avoid that like the plague. So go here to here to here to here. Then we might go either here and then back. First to here and then there. I guess it depends how much stuff we pick up here. Because we'll either go there, 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 and then try to find a way back, or we'll stop here and go back. So I think there's lots of quicksand and drum sand in this area, so we're going to have to be careful. Okay. And then we want to go here. There's a worm coming up. I think they accelerate how fast they go, because they used to,
familial obligation. I had those dresses brought in from Chusik at great expense. You will be seen of them.
Take a while.
Not by Fade Rotha, and he's the only one we care about. Fade is the premier get as far as eligible bachelors are concerned, darling.
Who puts that nonsense in their heads, hmm?
It's true. Ever since the Atreides girl humiliated him at Arsund, Fade has been actively receiving suitors.
Whores, you mean? Oh, you're fooling yourselves, girls. All of you. You haven't the slightest chance with Fade Ratha. No. His mate will be selected for political advantage above all. And we offer none. I know you think me cruel, but it's the truth. Ah. Saved by a knock at the door.
Grim tidings, High Prefect.
Girls, out. You
Weather
stay down.
alert. A large sandstorm is
Davros,
approaching.
report.
We're getting calls from
go
all
ahead
boards.
and
Somehow, a sizable supply of alcohol has made it through the security zone and is being distributed throughout the city.
Throughout the city?
Drunken debauchery reported in all wards, sir.
We're
We're shutting down pores as fast as we can, but we can't keep up.
I told them this would happen. You can't drive the workers harder and harder and take away their outlets at the same time. The pressure can only build so much before it explodes.
So you can see what
So
the
what do we do,
sandstorm
sir?
looks like and imagine what it's like
What
to
do
be
we do?
in one.
We do nothing. Perhaps the alcohol is a gift. Perhaps the crowds will have a riotous good time and wear themselves out before we see any proper unrest. What is your read on the crowd's temper, Davros?
Happy, sir. Excited for the most part. Excited for Argus Veer, that is.
Sector
There's
weather
one
alert.
clever
A
move
large
Lord
sandstorm
Raban
is
has made in
approaching.
recent memory, darling. It's delivering the great gladiator. I thought the old hedgehog was retired.
He is, but Glossu had nothing to do with it. Argus Veer is here at the Baron's request.
Well, it doesn't matter who brought him. What matters is that he's here. I shudder to think about how the crowd might respond were they denied their spectacle.
Well, we'll all be denied, sir, if we don't get going. Your ground car awaits.
Vastari! What happened to Valentin?
Huh? I know I'm late with your spies, but it's been insane up top. The crowd's worked up as I have never seen.
Oh my. Argus.
Yeah, well, better wake him already. He's up next.
I think that might be a problem.
I can get a bucket of water or something.
We're going to need more than a bucket of water, I'm afraid. Argus Veer is dead.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
You're tuned to Harvester Radio, the Dune Man source for bulletins, weather, and matters of import to the Spice Miners Guild.
Alright, I'm back. Now, if you remember Conan, you can just sort of see the edge of the sandstorm there. If you remember Conan and how the sandstorm there was just like a giant wall of, oh my goodness, we're all going to die heading towards you? Not much different. What's really bad is you can see it taking place across like other regions, and it's just horrifying to look at the horizon and just see an entire region just, you know, covered in storm. Okay, I thought there was going to be a camp over here. There wasn't. See, these are a good thing for like telling who's at what camp. This is the Kirov faction, or which NPC faction, and what that does is let you know what tier the enemies are going to be at, so you know if you need to be like, oh no, I'm going to die if I go after this camp, or if you have a reasonable chance of success. These are just iron tier, they're second tier. I'm actually in iron tier stuff, so you know, it, like, they really aren't the worst thing. Oh, quite a few at this camp.
Shields up! You're dead.
I need to get you soon before you pop my shield. There were a lot more at that camp than I was expecting. Yeah, it's exactly like seeing a death wall. The only difference is if you're in the wrong spot, it can move towards you. And I actually did get caught in one in the beta weekend, and so, you know, if you go back through my YouTube video, you can see me get taken down because I realized, oh, wait, I left my sand bike outside. Sandstorms will absolutely wreck your equipment. Okay, there should still be a couple. Did I get you? I think I got you. And after that, we're going to be full up on blood, so we might as well just stick to using my shotgun. Yeah, fun fact, because of the shields having a speed limit and everything, Dune doesn't really use bullets anymore.
Presented by the
Instead, they use spring-loaded darts.
Cold coffee.
So every time I shoot this shotgun, it's 12 darts flying into your face as fast as possible.
The Grabbin' Gang was recorded before a live studio audience.
Another day, another Solari.
Breakfast is ready.
Well, then, so am I.
Good morning, love.
It's a great morning, sunshine, especially since we're starting the day
Oh.
with Lindarin Gold
What did he
coffee.
die from?
You know, they put the spice in it
Okay.
for us.
Thank you, Lindarin Gold.
Morning, Mom and Dad. Canute asked me to go to the festival with him.
Wait, which one is Canute? The one who dresses up a Kirab?
No, that's Faisal.
Oh, that grenade actually
Canute is the one with the, you know,
I love
the
these
father
radio dramas.
is
They're
of
great.
the siege persuasion.
Salam, we should leave this spot. There's something in all that old wreckage that is not...
Okay, that one I
Fucking
know.
horrible.
But that's the first one I'm
I
hearing.
They're called
It's
town
fine.
fremen, and they
You
separated
say
from
it
their
keeps
siege brethren
outsiders away.
generations ago.
But if everything's fine, why is my hair falling out in handfuls? Why are my finger and toenails falling
I'm
off?
forcing Canute to go and
Another
have a
week
good
up
time.
here and we'll pass
Forcing
as
him?
Harkonnen.
Why? He's been mopey ever since the Fremen disappeared. I want to lift his spirits. Oh, that's so sweet, honey.
First time I'm hearing this
better
radio
get used to the
drama
idea.
podcast, and I'm not
I
liking
don't think
it.
the Fremen are ever
Oh,
coming
fire,
back.
fire, fire, fire.
Emperor made
I'm on
sure
fire.
that-
How'd I get on fire?
Got to go. Bye, Mom. Bye, Nana.
What am I, Chop Slick?
What about you, Dove?
What about me?
Don't be
Okay.
coy.
That's
I know
new.
you're
I
mad
don't
for
like
the
it.
festival, especially the spice cake
Alright.
competition.
Oh, this is my year,
Got
Marika.
this.
The golden hat will be mine.
Ooh, working on a secret
More worried
recipe?
about
See,
getting
that would be
here.
incorrect, my dear, because I am not working on a secret recipe. I am working on the secret recipe.
Oh,
say
come
that
on, Dove.
and
You say that
then I
every
go looking
year,
for the cave
and every
anyways.
year, Old Man Rashad's spice cake takes the hat.
Well, not this year, lovely. I've got a super secret ingredient that's gonna blow the judge's mind.
Up here.
Is it more spice? Because if it isn't more spice, you're wasting your damn time.
Shut up, Mum!
What's your secret ingredient, Dove?
Oh, you know, just something I picked up from Frank. He calls it
True.
Flavor Enhancer 3000.
Frank, are we talking about the
Getting
Frank
stopped
that
by
built
a piece of
fart filter
plastic.
into his still suit?
Look, don't be insensitive. He has gastrointestinal issues, and it's not a joking matter.
Oh, then you must be talking about the Frank that invented the thumper with a musical accompaniment.
Well, I'll have you know that was genius and worked as intended.
This is
I
the
mean,
radiation spot,
unless
so
you
we
stayed
need to
around
go
listening too long.
that way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dove. I don't think Old
So
Man
you can
Rashad
actually
has
see
too much
the
to worry about.
radiation.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should give the flavor enhancer a pass.
You can actually see the radiation, and that's why I don't want to go near it.
Stay out of this,
Ooh, there's a
Mum!
worm right
Come
there.
on!
I think just because they can. Like it's just set up different radio dramas and everything, and it's meant to imitate radio dramas from like the 1920s and such. Because there's one that's like a murder mystery, and it sounds like you're listening to The Shadow almost.
Not yet. Where's Junie?
Oh, looks like they're in line for the fortune teller.
So I mean, if you're someone who really likes,
Look
you
at
know,
that
or
line.
ever liked
He must be giving out
old-fashioned
free
radio
samples
dramas at
again.
all,
Well, that's not
it's
fair.
great. There's a couple other stations. One is just music,
spy
And
and
then there's
size up
two
the
more that
competition?
are,
You just wanna
House
try his
Harkonnen and House
cake, don't you?
Atreides radio.
Is that so wrong?
And they're just pure propaganda. So, of course, the House Atreides radio is trying to sound like America.
But I will get you a piece.
And then the House Harkonnen radio is...
Hey there, neighbor!
Frank!
Is, you know, like, oh, we're House built on dominance and crap, so it sounds kind of like a corporate loyalty.
No, Frankie boy, to be a quitter?
No, but I'm still hopeful.
Come on, buddy. Have you scoped out the competition?
No, but my whole family deserted me for old man Rashad Sample.
Let me just switch to the Atreides radio.
We did the successes and the victories, but it's hard.
Something weird, I remember
Your
one
service
point
and dedication
there
to House
was,
Atreides are deeply
they would do
appreciated.
radio
We thank you
rebroadcasts
for
of
sharing
Star
your
Trek
story
The
with
Next
us.
Generation.
Yeah,
So I remember there was one point I was
thank you.
actually listening to a Star Trek episode.
I just hope,
goodness gracious. A Star Trek
I was
episode
And that
on the
concludes
radio.
our interview with Sergeant Creel.
I was like
His
9,
story
I think.
is a stark reminder
I
of the
think it was just
sacrifices
something
made by our
UPN was
brave
doing
special
to
forces.
keep interest in it
Let us
alive.
honor their sacrifices and strive for a future where this can finally end and the Harkonnens are eradicated from all of Arrakis.
You have listened to another episode of Through Their Eyes, first-hand accounts from the front lines, presented by your host, Redondo Monroe.
Okay, so somewhere there's an identification door. Looks like that's the door. I have no idea what's in here.
8th day in a row of desanding the engine core. Unsure how the sand even gets in. Had Higgs borrow some extra hands to help look for leaks and tears in the hull. Nothing. I'm starting to imagine the Hawks flipped someone just to have them sprinkle a fistful of dust in the gears. It's everywhere. In our bunks, in our chow. Our ships just aren't built to go up against these tiny grains of sand. You could park this ship in Lake Argent for a week and not a drop of water would get in. But the sand eroded into specks. Specks that sneak through every last little crevice. Specks of daily maintenance. Guess what thrilling obstacle we'll be tackling tomorrow? Did you guess sand?
And I think these are torpedoes. Something you never saw used in the movie, but they look heckin' cool. Okay, so let's go through here. Now, I just realized without that quest to actually explore this wreck, there's no reason for me to be doing this other than I can. Yeah, see, this is all supposed to be iron tier. Ooh. Shinies. This is way emptier than I thought it would be, and it is creeping me out.
In twilight's glow where shadows meet, a warrior stands on weary feet. His sword, once bright, now dulled with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Oh, fate, you've carved this path of pain, through deserts vast, through blood and rain. Yet honor binds my heart tonight. For House Atreides, I still fight. Remember those who fell in fields, whose courage were their only shields. Their names engraved in stars above, their deeds the legacy of love.
I don't want that rifle because
In
it takes
silence,
up room.
now I take my leave. For battles end, and souls must grieve. But know this truth, my comrades dear, in every heart we still stand near. Oh,
Right,
house of just and noble name, we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's end is near, House Atreides, shed no tear. For in the halls where heroes rest, where valor shines, where hearts are blessed, we'll meet again in timeless peace, where all our pains and trials cease. In twilight's glow where shadows meet, a warrior stands on weary feet. His sword, once bright, now dulled with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Oh, fate, you've carved this path of pain, through deserts vast, through blood and rain. Yet honor binds my heart tonight. For House Atreides, I still fight.
Someone told me earlier that I was worried for nothing, that shipwreck was pretty empty. And I was like, okay, maybe you just got lucky and went through behind someone. But no, I guess it really is just that empty a shipwreck. And somehow that is creepier for it.
But know this truth, my comrades dear. In every heart we still stand near.
Okay, so it looks like if I go straight across,
we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's end is near,
but yeah, the Atreides channel is kind of funny because it's very 2004, 2005. Everything was trying to be,
we'll meet again in timeless peace.
You know, oh, look at the Iraq War and how devastating it is, and we need to do everything to end it as soon as possible, etc., etc. Because like there's one program where, you know, they got a soldier who's just fresh from the war, and, you know, they're like interviewing him and everything, and they actually have to censor part of what he says because he gets too graphic, and then they, you know, start asking the really fixed questions where he can't give answers that they don't want him to give. Because, you know, everything's supposed to be about why it's so good to fight this war and how the Harkonnens are so evil and everything. You're not supposed to, you know, tell people how traumatic the war experience was. Okay, so it looks like there's a camp here. Let's go ahead and take it out. Right. Yeah. Then we gotta do the test for the drug den so we can blackmail the Harkonnen faction. Yeah, exactly. House Atreides program sounds very America. And it's kind of funny for it. Really? There's just no one here? Okay.
The heart of Rendavo. Rendavo's father was a sergeant, old and bent and grey. He served the Duke in '88, back in a bygone day. He lived out in the desert and scraped his meager fare, with children 9 around him and Ren, the youngest there. The older siblings learnt some sense, but Ren was left without. He was tall, but short on wisdom, and grew up broad and stout. Pious, cheerful, willing. Yet he seldom did things right. What will become of you, poor boy? His father asked each night. So and finally, Ren answered, a soldier, sword in hand. If all else fails, at least I can still die for Duke and land. Ren packed his bag and went to join the brave.
Yeah, I guess it's more reminiscence.
Strong and fit, and healthy too.
What was probably going on in the 1940s or something.
But when he had to master drills and learn the skills of war, the sergeant screamed and laughed and screamed still more. For when ordered to turn left, Ren would quickly turn to right. And told to shoulder arms instead, he charged with all his might. Rendavo's drills and troubles became a well-known tale.
Oh, people are doing
even
great
famous
at your
Duncan,
job.
Idaho, would smile at his travail. And when at last Ren's unit, was ordered off to war. The officers debated. Was he suited for that chore? But Wren just let them argue. He stood there, broad and straight. If with the others I can't go, I'll go alone. Just wait. He took his sword and backpack and marched out with the rest. At camp, he was their servant, fulfilling each request.
Abbott and Costello.
But when the battles raged,
see, like, I know,
he was ordered to stand
the
back.
names. I don't
He
really
didn't
think
understand when to take cover
listen to Abbott
or
and
attack.
Costello.
Duncan, Idaho was on the
What
run.
was that, Terry?
Harkonnens in his tracks. He passed Ren Darvo's unit, shouting, "Boys, you watch our backs. Don't let the devils through the gorge, or all of us are lost. Guard it until we regroup. Keep it safe at any cost." A small detachment, made up but of barely 20 men, got there in time to make their stand. Along with them came Ren. The Harkonnen fell on them hard, their lasguns raining death. And 7 brave Atreides men gave up their costly breath. The same disastrous fate would soon befall all those who'd stay. So when ordered to retreat, they all retreated straight away.
Hi.
All but one, who stayed to fight and charged the foes
Probably
instead.
coming out of the very drug that I
Ren
want to go
couldn't
into.
get the notion of flight
That works for
through
me.
his stubborn head. He just stood there, broad and strong,
Test of loyalty.
and ready now to teach a lesson to each Harkonnen who came within his reach.
Test of loyalty.
At the choke point in the gully, they all each took a turn, but without
This is
lasgun
like
cover.
an Imperial testing station.
One by one,
Wait, is
were
this an
forced
Imperial
to
testing
learn.
station?
They charged at Ren, but each who came was fought and bested all the same. None could beat
Imperial
him at
testing
this
station.
game.
Okay.
For Atreides'
Imperial
honor,
testing station
house,
13.
and name.
That's a
Duncan, Idaho had rallied all the troops that still were hale. He shouted, "Hold out, my brave lad. We're coming. Do not fail." He told all who would hear him what a true Atreides fight. "Hurry, boys. Come to his aid.
so
He has
we're
saved
gonna-
us all tonight."
That means there's going to be
Against that
treasure at the
fearsome
end of this, so
counter-strike,
we're going to
no
have to want
Harkonnen
to-
could hold. They faltered, failed, and turned their backs, a rare sight to behold. Their faces pale, their weapons dropped behind them as they ran. And Duncan looked
Hear
around and
gunfire. It sounds
asked,
like it's coming from that
"Where is that
direction.
fearless man? He who held the gully until we could all return, that hero of the desert. His name I must needs learn." "He has fallen," said the sergeant, his head bowed down in shame. "He lies there dead upon the sand. Ren Darvo was his name." "I remember him," said Idaho, "of Ren,
I have
who'd
never
seemed
done
to
this Imperial
rest,
testing
but
station,
for the
so I
blood
don't know
that
what
stained
is
the
where.
shirt across his mighty chest. That lasgun knew just where to strike, as plainly you can see. Said Idaho to those around, "Yes, it knew more than we. It shunned his brow. 'Twas weak and poor, that much all of us knew. But found instead what better was his heart, forever true."
I'm
The
clearly going
word
behind
spread
another
quick
player,
among
and
all
I don't
those
mind.
who had survived the
This
fight.
is not a PvP area.
And every soldier did agree Duncan, Idaho was right. Ren Darvo was no thinker. His mind slow, truth be told.
No, I don't want that.
His head, they
I'm doing
said,
just fine with the wraps,
was
to be
thick
honest.
as wood. But his heart was made of gold.
Okay, so this should get me through one of the doors back here. Yeah, it's this one. I like how you can clearly hear there's a firefight going on somewhere. I don't want that power pack. Really? Okay, here we go. Okay, and this is going to be for that one that was upstairs, probably. So I assume there's a boss through here, and then oof. Need to hurry up and get out of here before everyone respawns. I need to find those records. I hope they're not like on a boss that I need to wait to respawn and kill. 'Cause that takes like 40 minutes. Betting they are. Which means we're just gonna have to wait. Yay. Oh, nope. There we go. Alright, so now we can leave if I can find my way back out.
It's the Wastelander Chronicles, brought to you by O'Gary's
Now we
Imports.
can join House
O'Gary's
Atreides.
Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the blistering sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvage experts, as they scour war-torn battlefields and crash sites to discover their next great haul.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, back with another wild adventure. After that scary encounter with the Masquerade, we got our hands on that super mysterious map. Dad was all over it, trying to figure out where it led. Normally, he would take it over to his Mentat friend at the Seleucid Bull. I used to think Master Chin was scary when I was little. The way he got that faraway look in his eye when he did his computing, Master Chin would have taken one look, and before you got a word out, he'd have done a sector-by-sector comparison of the map with known topography. But in this case, Dad didn't want anyone knowing the secrets of the map before he did.
I'll figure it out myself.
Mom said he was being a paranoid old fool, but what should have taken 30 seconds took 2 days. And don't you know it? 2 days later, we found ourselves piling in the Clovis, our 68th homeland master, and set a course for the Haga Basin. Once we were underway, Dad unfolded the map and pointed to a marking that looked like an angry beetle.
This is our destination, kids. Remember that old Empire facility we found a few weeks back? It was a maintenance facility. You know, a bunch of tool pushers they kept around to fix stuff for the eggheads. I guess a scientist can tell you how much a pound of worm shit weighs, but put them all together in a room and they still can't turn a screw to save their lives. Anyhow, in the documentation we recovered, we found an inventory roll listing some of the other testing stations by number and field of study. Testing Station 29 studied plants, while 36 studied weather. Station 91, though, they studied bugs. Just like this ugly little sucker we're headed towards.
Boy, was that journey rough. Mom said it was a bad time of year to be traveling, and the sandstorms were relentless. Visibility was almost nothing. And sometimes, my little brother Koda and I had to get out and walk ahead of Clovis to make sure we didn't drive off a cliff. Eventually, we arrived at the sector indicated on the map, and we hid Clovis away, where she would be safe. As usual, Kodo and I took the point and went ahead of our group. I won't lie, every step of that mission was a chafing nightmare. Before we left Clovis, I made the harebrained decision to break in a handed-down steel suit that didn't fit right. I was in rare form and fit for time when we finally came upon the massive portal in the rocks. By then, we'd been to enough of these old testing stations to know one when we saw it. The oversized doors were slightly open, but peering in, we could only see darkness. Koda was immediately apprehensive.
Reading a lot of foot traffic, Sally. I'm not sure how lost this old testing station really is.
Of course, that's when Dad and the rest of the family arrived.
I knew it!
Keep it down, Finn.
I knew it. You said I was a fool. You said I'd lead us into an ambush.
The night is young.
Ignore your petulant mother, kids. We go in wedge formation. After me.
We squeezed through the narrow aperture with ease, but quickly found our way blocked by a massive pit of darkness. After we recalibrated our optics for low light, we found a narrow ramp that wound down to the gaping shaft. I forgot all about my chafing as we descended into the darkness. I hated the feeling in there. The lonely, oppressive atmosphere that long-abandoned places had in common. But the spell was quickly broken when a Harkonnen fire team floated on the center of the shaft from above. We flattened ourselves against the wall and kept out of their lights.
Like any survival game, there's going to be a lot of resource gathering and base stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff you can just explore.
One day the Baron is going to come here and see where all his Solaris went.
You don't want to be around when that happens.
Okay.
And why is it you don't want that?
You haven't met the Baron yet, have you, boy?
Damn it, Finn! This isn't a testing station. It's a Harkonnen base.
Can it be both?
I told you the night was young.
So, what do we do next?
Spider-Man.
We couldn't risk getting caught, so we stuck to the shadows and moved as quietly as we could.
Oh, come on. Seriously? There's another one?
With tunnels going off in every direction. We thought we were full of weird machinery and old tech, stuff I'd never seen before. But oddly, no bugs or insects of any kind.
There were never any bugs, Sally. I think the symbol on the map indicates Harkonnen, not bugs.
Well, their helmets are kind of bug-shaped when you look at them.
That's when we heard footsteps and ducked into a side room just in time. Peeking out, we saw a group of Harkonnen troopers. We didn't know how many there were in total, but any kind of combat would have brought the whole base down on us. My heart was pounding so hard, I was sure they'd hear it. After they were gone, the spirit of adventure had left us, and we resolved to get out of there as fast as we could. Koda and I really wanted to kill us a Harkonnen, but Mom told us it wasn't our time yet. We'd get our chance one day. But boy was she wrong, as we came face to face with the Harkonnen captain at the top of the ramp. Our daggers were already in hand, as I went high and Koda went low. Eyes and thighs, we called it, as we practiced the move so many times. And that's how we killed our first Harkonnen.
The real good guys,
Koda
they're
took an
having
ear for his collection and offered to help me start my own. But, ew, I told Koda no way. Once we made it back to Clovis, Dad sealed the hatch behind us as Mom brought her great engine to life.
That's something we can dump, because we want this.
After we got back to Arrakis, Dad met his friend, Master Chim, and shared our findings. While we didn't score any decent salvage on the trip, Dad did receive a reward from the Atreides for providing them with actionable intelligence on the Harkonnen base. Apparently the location of that particular base had troubled them for a while. Last we heard, Gurney Halleck was on his way there with a heavy assault team. With that said, Atreides days are back at O'Gary's Imports.
That's right, Sally. Discounts across the board if you serve the Duke and can prove it. Come find us on the Agora Concourse of the Grand Souk in Arrakis. Because at O'Gary's Imports, if you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it.
Thanks, Dad. Until next time, this is your faithful Badland Scout, Sally O'Gary, signing off and reminding you to always check your six. And come back next time for another episode of the Wastelander Chronicles.
That was an ad. That was an ad for, I think, a pawn shop, basically. Come by us. We're loyal. Watch how we teach our kids how to murder people. Oh, that's not horrifying at all.
We've got it all for you today, from inspiring frontline stories to another exciting episode of everyone's favorite wandering swordsman.
I thought I might see you soon. I have a special task that needs your expertise. You did? Amazing. We can finally put that lowlife in his place. Nearly. Go to Maxim. Use this information to pressure him to back off the Skorda investigation. Do that, and your place with House Atreides is secure.
Okay. Now, do you want to see how far we have to travel to do this? Furthest part in the game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it really reminds me of stuff, you know, like, I guess it's because my dad mostly just listened to country music and then listened to those, like, you know, pro-America, you know, radio channels. But yeah, it sounds like a lot of stuff that was like, you know, early Afghanistan,
Well done.
early Iraq,
It's a good
Desert
look on you.
Storm.
What's this? Adorable. But this isn't the leverage you think it is. Among my people, a vice well handled is something of a status symbol. You sanctimonious nothing. You... Your initiative is commendable, if clumsy. But my vices are known. You have no power over me. You have nothing. What do you want? I do believe that I hate you. Very well. I'll give dear Anton a good head start on Skorda, for all the good it will do him. No great sacrifice. When you inevitably betray Anton, pay me a visit. If you're this ruthless, you should be working for us. Your talents are wasted on the Atreides.
See, as close as these two live together, I'm pretty sure there's a enemies to lover romance going on. Also, look at the donkey. Hi, little donkey. This guy's still suit. Who the heck are you?
Don't know you from Adam. Slag off.
Okay. I guess that says all it needs to. That's a
In this troubled age, when darkness stalks the land and corruption threatens to extinguish the last light of hope, a lone warrior...
I thought I might see you soon. I have a special task that needs your expertise. This is wonderful news. You are to be commended. Give me the documents. I'll transmit them to my superior. Very well done. Few things give me pleasure anymore, but I will savor this.
And we have now...
I saw the look on his face. It was nearly worth what I've endured here. Nearly. Welcome. You've earned a place in the Atreides intelligence operation. As a reward, here is a token that will grant you access to our vendors. You deserve that and more. Also, you can now align your guild to House Atreides, or join a faction-aligned guild to participate in the Landsrat. Though I warn you, this level of commitment means any future betrayal comes with heavy repercussions. Welcome aboard. Excellent timing. I just received intel from an informant of mine in one of the mining camps in Haga Rift. I've been trying to locate a friend. The word is she's been seen around the deserter camps in the Rift. I need you to meet with my informant to confirm.
So, this is part of the Landsrat thing, which is a huge, kind of guild versus guild politics to the game. Part of it can be PvP, but a huge part of it is just, you have the House Atreides and House Harkonnen trying to, basically push stuff through the Imperial Congress, basically. And this is how we help them do it. You actually can sit there and turn around and betray other factions. Or you can betray one of them. But at the moment, you can only do it once, which is kind of to me. But like I'd really like to be able to, be that independent freelancer who works both sides. Because in Dune, there are no good guys. There's just you and everybody else.
I appreciate it. And watch your back. The deserters aren't known to care whom they cross paths with.
Oh, I've heard of these, but I haven't gone up against them yet. They're basically people who have been deserting the war from both sides and have been banding up together.
We must go, Sirrah. If Lord Varric's men find you, I don't know what they'll do.
Take me to the slave called Varric. Justice will be served.
Still alive? That's too bad. We had a bet going.
Wait, I don't have room.
Who dares enter my hall unbidden?
I dare, Mala. You claim authority that is not your own. For that, I claim your life.
Oh, you? What is your name, stranger? I would know what to mark upon your grave.
I am the swordsman. Your false reign is over, Varric.
This does sound like the Shadow.
Stand there! Get him!
Lord Varric, the stranger fights like the swordmasters of legend.
Impossible! The swordmasters were destroyed! The remnants scattered!
6 to 1, he is outnumbered, and still, our men cannot strike him.
Fool! They do not have to strike him. They only have to maneuver him onto that trap door. Goodbye, swordsman!
Save your breath, stranger. You took a brutal beating on the way down. Most do not survive the fall, as the bones in this dungeon attest.
Dungeon.
Below Lord Varric's audience chamber, I am Rodrigo.
He is no lord. Not in any legitimate sense.
I'm not sure that's a distinction many here would appreciate. What else is a lord if not a title claimed by force?
A lordship is an investiture governed by the Heritage Council in Section 437 through 441 of the Great Convention. It's a covenant, as old as the Imperium itself.
Ah, but tell me then, stranger, the ones who established your covenant, how is it they claim their power, if not by force? How is it they are legitimate, and the pig Varric is not?
You tire me, old man.
Well, at least we agreed that Varric is a pig. Rest now, stranger. You'll need your strength for what is ahead.
Damn it, I oiled that hinge. Can he walk?
Can you walk, stranger? Our last true governor had the unshakable fear that the people would rise against him and throw him down here. I helped to build this secret exit to ease his paranoia.
Did it?
Yes. Until House Waco fell. Then the people turned on him and threw him down here.
But he escaped through a secret exit.
No. He landed badly and died soon after. But we will escape from his secret exit. This is my daughter, Gina. She will lead us to safety.
What about Varric?
As far as Varric is concerned, you're already dead or dying. No one has ever come back from this place. Easy now, swordsman. I've tended to your wounds.
Thank you, both.
My father was a draftsman in the Imperial Engineering Guild, and helped to build this humble colony.
Armor in 3 isn't much, stranger, but we are self-sustaining. And the Guild will remember us one day. We were doing just fine until Varric's grandfather took over.
Lord Varric is just the latest in a long line of assholes.
We have seen too many good men fall trying to stand against him.
There are enough of you. Why not fight back together?
The fear of death, I suppose. The land here is harsh. The work grueling. Without our men, our families would starve.
Fear is a powerful chain, stranger.
A chain we will break together.
You're part of
Send word to the villagers. It's time to end this. Colonists, you've lived in fear of Varric's rule for too long. He is a vile pretender, and order must be restored.
But how can we do this, stranger? We are not an army.
Remember yourselves. You are Imperial peons, with all the rights and protections that station implies.
But who will stand for us? We've been waiting on the Spacing Guild for over 300 years.
I will stand for you, and you will stand for yourselves.
But how?
I will train you, after I have forged a new sword. It's time. Today we break the chains of bondage. Today, we fight. Huzzah! We've gone over the plan.
My compactor.
When next we meet, it will be over the body of the dead slave called Varric. Huzzah!
So then I told the farmer, if you cannot pay your proper tribute, perhaps your comely young daughter can pay it for you.
Slave Lord Varric, your false reign ends now.
You? But how? Guards, get him!
He has rallied all the peasants against us!
They fight like demons! The stranger must have trained them!
Face me, Varric.
I will take care of the stranger myself.
Okay, yeah. I don't know which one is mine, but that's most worn down.
The tyrant has fallen.
Okay, so...
You have won your freedom.
Huzzah! No! Father!
Your father fought bravely, Gina. His
all this
sacrifice
stuff is a little
was
bit
not
far.
in vain.
Thank you, swordsman. You've saved us, but I've lost my father in the bargain.
His spirit lives on in the freedom you now share. Freedom to serve your proper masters, the Spacing Guild, who will undoubtedly return soon to claim you all.
But what do
Looks
we
like
do
maybe we
until
can.
then?
Hunger and disunity may come, but you must remain steadfast in your duties, and the honor of that will sustain you. Remember, a righteous heart is never truly empty.
You're right, swordsman. Is there any way we
I
can
guess we're
repay
gonna
you?
finally build
Setting things
our
right is
ornithopter.
payment enough.
Huzzah!
And now, I must move on.
Yeah, I guess better than orc peons, you know.
Swordsman? Where did
Actually,
he go?
they might be worse, because
And
orc
so,
peons at
the
least have
swordsman
rights.
leaves
This is the
another
very
world
feudal
better than
sense
he
of the
found
word
it.
peon.
Join
You're
us next time
owned
for
by a
another
noble.
chapter in the saga of the Swordsman.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and leave our... Don't tell me it's not possible, just do it. Goodbye, sweet bike. So I haven't done this before, so this is going to be new for everyone. Alright. Now we gotta get our wings. Oh, are these a pair of wings? Guess we're about to find out. No. I didn't think they were, but they looked like they might have been in the picture. Scout Ornithopter scan.
The warriors farewell. In twilight's glow, where shadows meet, a warrior stands on weary feet. His sword, once bright, now dulled with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Oh, fate, you've carved this path of pain through deserts vast, through blood and rain.
So we can go to that one place
Yet
and
honor
harvest
binds
sand
my heart
because
tonight.
we need to.
For House Atreides, I still fight.
And I need to make
Remember
a
those who
medium
fell
fuel
in
cell, I
fields
think.
whose courage
Probably a couple of them.
were their only shields.
Nope.
Their names engraved in stars above. Their deeds, the legacy of love. In silence now,
Where's the chemical
I take my
refinery?
leave. For battle's end and souls must grieve. But know this truth, my comrades dear. In every heart, we still stand near. Oh, house of just and noble name, we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's end is near, House Atreides, shed no tear. For in the halls where heroes rest, where valor shines, where hearts are blessed, we'll meet again in timeless peace, where all our pains and trials cease.
Alright. Now we got let. I'm stuck. 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 Come on. 3 meters in the air. Okay. Come on, log back in. There we go. And no. Okay. We can color it. What? What do you mean there are no? Yeah, there we go. Let's see. We got that blue. We got this one, which is going to be orange with white. Got this darker blue. We also have black with red and orange. Let's see what that looks like. Nope. Not letting me color those wings, are you? Really? There we go. Yeah. So we got this one. We got... Oh, come on. This one, which is just pretty much all blue. Oh, God. Come on. There we go. And we got that one. Then we got... Come on. Come on. Come on. I believe in you. There we go. Kind of like a blue and gold. I feel like because it's me... You like the blue dasher one? Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and try it out for a bit. There is another guild member who already is using it, so we may end up changing it just on principle. Ooh, makes the red's legs red. But it's okay. Okay. So where do we want to go to first? I think there's a spot here I want to go to pick up some... Ooh, actually we can do... Yeah, we can do that one. Maybe? Deep extraction. Which one is deep extraction? I actually need to go to you and talk to you about stuff. Oh, you're deep extraction. Oh, nope, I can't finish that quest. Alright. Need to finish you. Locate Tuco's stash. Need to finish you. You're the cavern, that's all the way over yonder. Need to finish you. You and this one actually have the same thing. Okay. So first, let's go here because there is some crystals there that we can mine. We're flying! There's another shipwreck. We don't have a reason to go to you yet. I think we'll go here, get those crystals I want to grab, and then we'll go do that Swordsmaster quest. Are we there yet? Oh, we are. Now we descend into the depths. And here's these two little crystals right here. That was heckin' serious lag. Oh wow, I am carrying a ton of crap on me. More crystals inside, but I think, yeah, I can already see the person all the way over there. This is a tier above me, so I'm not even gonna try. Yeah, we'll go ahead and update this respawn point. Okay, so now off to the Swordsmaster. Where are you? Oh, you're an Imperial testing station. Go ahead and hit you since you're the Atreides. I got really scared that green ball might be something, but no, it's just a light. This is going to be down. Ooh. Looks like it's going to be in there. This might be above her pay grade. At least for now. Ooh, there's another player here. Wonder if this is Miata's. I don't think so, because I'd have access to Miata's. Oh, no, I still need to go further down. Okay. down. Okay, it looks like I want this one, not that one. Oh, okay. That really scared me for a hot second. They were here first, they can go ahead and mine it. Oh, these are the same places. Okay, so I just need to find the meeting point wherever that is. Oh, my suspenser is about to break. Great. Great. Okay.
Reveal yourself. Shields up.
Who's that? Found them.
Okay. Oh, okay. That turned into an ambush. Was not expecting that. But you know what else spawned back in? The crystal. Or at least that one did. Alright, so I can go ahead, drop this back off at base. Probably look into replacing my dispenser or just getting a higher tier one. That'll probably last longer. Looks like it might be nighttime. Nope, it's still daylight. Which song? Oh, wait. Let's go ahead and get that Sword Master quest while we're here. I said while we're here, we're very far from there. Trip like I do. See, I don't think I know it, but it's always good to know what people do know. Ha 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 ha. That looks like a very angry outpost that we're going to stay very far away from for now. That's another very angry outpost. Small Ifrit al-Sham. I just realized I fought off those 3 people without even using the gear, without even using my shield. Which isn't a bad thing considering how well I did. It's just funny because a lot of people have been complaining that combat is...
I found them! Break this one! Shielding! Oh.
Make sure that person's dead. Yes. Should I stop wasting water? Ooh, vehicle cell. So I don't think I explained it. The whole point of this plastic is to actually trap moisture inside a contained area so it doesn't just dry out and you die of heat stroke and stuff. I think these are slavers going by the jacket that one guy was wearing. That one person. Whoever they are, they like dead people. Oh, cool. That quest is done. I can go now. Okay, I don't have anything left to do here, right? Yes. No. Okay, so we can just go. Because this place is scary and they can poke me and hurt me. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the base, drop off all the goods. We'll go to the anvil and drop off those quests. After which it is 3 o'clock, so, or it's been it's 3 hours streaming now, so I might go ahead and call it there. Like I said, OBS is complaining about memory space. I'm going to have to get an external hard drive just to store videos on. But external hard drives are still pretty expensive. We might go ahead and finish up that Swordmaster's quest just because I can. Yeah, there's the ping jumping up for something. good. We know where stuff is now. All in all, this is a good day. I might go ahead and stay on so I can do some resource gathering and stuff, but that's boring and not exciting for stuff, so. Somewhere. Nope. 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 Actually, that's what I might do. I might go ahead and stay on and survey those regions I haven't had a chance to yet. Oh, this looks like all vehicle parts that people are go ahead and storing before they get rid of. There we go. There you are. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish up this Atreides quest. Worm, you can't catch me now. Okay, I just heard a worm. It sounds like maybe he can catch me. There you are.
We meet again. What? That's disturbing. I'm glad that you did. What exactly happened? Disconcerting. Either my informant was intercepted, or I've been fed false information. Whichever the case, we need to investigate
so
further.
People in Atreides armor. That's cool.
Unfortunately, I do. Something more somber, but it needs doing. I need a body and ID tags located to clear a name. We must defend the honor of our brothers and sisters, living and dead.
Lieutenant Trenton Yang. Oof.
In light of your
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and leave off there, and I'm going to avoid doing any quests. I might do this one because, as we saw, that one's just empty and nothing. Excuse me. Then I want to try and going ahead and surveying these last few regions. I can go ahead and do that without making you all sit through it. Or I might call it a night there. I'm not sure. But we have been going for about 3 hours. I want to thank everyone for coming and joining me. It's been a really fun night. We got to explore, you know, the last few outposts here and get all their intel points, and we also found quite a few camps along the way. Which, the camps, they're not really the most exciting thing, but sometimes they have blueprints in them, so, you know, rare gear. So we did all that. We got to explore a bit here. I guess I need to go back and get that person and these areas. I'm scared to do the ironworks because they're basically dungeons, and there's stuff you definitely want other people with. Everyone in my guild, though, is usually on early in the morning because they're actually from... well, most everyone. A lot of people are from other parts of the world. They just get better ping in the North America servers. But yeah, so I might do this one. Nah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night there so I can start I can get some dinner and stuff. But yeah, we'll try and be back tomorrow night, I guess. Tomorrow or Thursday, we'll try to be back here and streaming again. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely and fantastic night. Stay safe, anyone who's in areas where that needs to be a concern, as there are quite a few of them. And I will see you all when we're back. All right. Bye.